they're really gonna be in awe of me, and that the way they see me and appreciate me is going to change the way I see and appreciate myself. And I thought that was a really insightful way to read things. For the longest time, I had wanted to go see an astrologer or have a tarot or psychic reading done, and I had just sort of put it off. There was a few people who I kind of looked into, but I think the key thing with these experiences is that it has to really feel right to you, and it's a lot about trusting your intuition and your gut and what timing feels right. And so my birthday just happened a couple weeks ago, and around that time I was like, okay, this would be a good time to do it. It's the new year. And I went on TikTok because I had remembered seeing a girl post about a psychic that she saw, and I was able to find his contact information easily. I added him on Instagram, got approved, and it said that he shares on his stories daily the times, but that never panned out. I never saw him post anything, and I was thinking on it, and that week I said, I really want to get a reading done this week. And I remembered there is a friend of mine who is actually a neighbor, and she does astrology and tarot, and she's not just someone who does it for fun. I would say she is someone like, this is what she lives her life by. She's very intense about it, very much believes in it. Like, she is like a mystic, because I think there's people who read tarot who like, they know how to do it, but that's a different category of people who like, this is what they do, and they do it not for a living, but they take it like very, very seriously. And my gut told me that this was the right decision. I'm also very comfortable with her, and I also know that in terms of what she was going to tell me about myself, I know what information she has. And yeah, if you go to a psychic or whatever, they wouldn't know any information about you, but you just never know what they could like pick up on. For me, I'm like, okay, I already know she knows like this, and this about me. Anything else that is different, like that is true to her. And I liked that there was some familiarity. I know some people might feel differently. Yeah, I decided to do it. The other astrologer who I had thought to go see at one point, I have this author I love, Rebecca Searle, and she always raves about her astrologer. And I thought about tracking that person down and doing it, but I knew it would be virtual, and my preference would be to do it in person. So I found myself in a position where I was able to do it, and she said it was the full moon that week, which is a really good time to do a reading. She came over to my place. It was a Thursday night. I have a little book here I might reference because I took notes afterwards of like everything she had told me. But from the moment we started this reading, the first thing she said to me was, your life is going to be shaken up, but in the best way possible, like not in a bad way. It's going to get busy, it's going to get hectic, but like with positive things. And what I gathered from her over the course of this reading, and she did sort of say this afterwards, is that she likes to focus on mostly the positive things that come up in her reading. And I had also given her like my birth chart information, so she looked up ahead of time like what all my different like signs were. I'm a Capricorn, for those wondering. Capricorn is my sun sign. I am a Taurus moon and Cancer rising. Hopefully I got that all right. Another thing about me that I didn't know is that my north node is the same as my sun sign, which they're both Capricorn, and your north node is meant to represent your life's purpose. The astrology experts can hopefully correct me on this. I believe like there's something special that happens when you're really in sync with your life's purpose if your north node is the same as your sun sign. So what I kind of gathered is that's what's happening for me this year. I'm gonna kind of go through like everything she said to me. First, more so about work, and she thought it was going to be like largely like a love reading and romance, but she was getting a lot of career stuff. One thing she said to me where it sort of overlaps is that she saw a lot of overlap between love and career, and she specified this is not in a, oh, you're gonna date your boss or someone from work kind of way. She's like, I just see these two worlds like colliding and overlapping for you. And I don't even think she knows about my TikTok, because she doesn't have TikTok. She has me on Instagram, and I don't really post much about dating on there. And the crazy thing for me, and I talked about this a little bit in my last video, is that I have been working on a book to do with my dating experiences and my lessons learned and the meet cutes that have happened on my dating journey. And she knew none of this. So I thought that was really crazy that she was saying she just saw this big overlap between my love life and my career, and that was going to somehow play a part in how I made money this year. She also said this was going to be a very good financial year for me, that after this year, I was no longer going to need to worry about money, not in a, oh, you're going to go shopping at Holt Renfrew kind of way. That was her words. But she said, I'm going to be on like a new level of financial security that I haven't had in the past, where as long as like I'm responsible, I don't really need to worry about money. And I would say I'm close to that point now, but I sort of see what she means. Like, if I have a bit more growth, like, definitely makes sense with where I'm at, that like if I just put in a bit more work, I will be in like a better financial situation by the end of the year. We love like financial growth and responsibility. The other thing she said to me was that she kept pulling the 3 wish cards for me. There was 3 wish cards in her deck, and she said that I am gonna get everything I wished for, but here was the thing that really stayed with me. I'm gonna get those things, not because it's like, oh, Aladdin wishing to the genie, but because I am wishing for the right things, the things that are in alignment with like my life's purpose, which makes sense because I've always felt like I was meant to write, even at the times when I wasn't enjoying it or having fun with it. Like, writing has always been a huge part of me. So it would be really neat if that combined with social media was maybe like a way in which things are going to take off for me. She said, I am going to get some sort of offer or opportunity, and I am going to question why they're offering me that much. I'm not going to think I'm worth that much, but that I need to remind myself and just sort of flip the tables that like I am valuable to other people. And just really remember like my worth. Something that she said she wanted me to do, I'm gonna do it this week, is to make a list of everything I've accomplished in life. And not just, oh, I've run a marathon, or oh, I got this job. Those little things like I'm capable of taking myself out to a bar and sitting by myself there and reading a book and not being uncomfortable. Because it's true, that's something that is like a big challenge for a lot of people. And if you can't do that, that's okay. But that is something that like I've accomplished, that I'm capable of doing comfortably. So I really, really liked that that came up. She really just said like, it is going to be a busy year for me. When she asked if I wanted to ask her anything, I asked if I was going to move, and she said, unfortunately for me, it does look like I'm going to move. Didn't clarify whether it was like in the city or outside of the city. I almost want that to remain a mystery, but I do feel like I'm going to move. That was something that was maybe sort of in the cards for me anyway. So that's exciting. And it makes sense if like everything's going to be shaken up and busy, because I've been in my place for 6 or 7 years. So moving is going to be a big thing for me and keep me busy if and when that happens. Now, for the love part, which I think is the part that's most exciting to all people, I do take this with a grain of salt, because you always want to think like, oh, is it too good to be true? She said that she sees me meeting my soulmate this year. And she asked me, she said, you know, like when I say that, is there like a time that you feel aligned with? And I said, you know, I don't like dating in the summer. So I feel like unless it's going to happen really soon, I feel like it would make sense for it to happen in the fall. And I love like a fall romance. And what she said to me, she was saying probably early spring. That is what she was getting from, you know, her reading and seeing all the cards. She said she saw it being someone older than me, not in like a creepy way, just someone who's older, and that they're really going to be in awe of me, and that the way they see me and appreciate me is going to change the way I see and appreciate myself. And I thought that was a really insightful way to read things. And so when I say that I really enjoyed this reading and the way that she was, you know, explaining everything to me, it's little details like that. And I think that is so key in, you know, having a positive experience like this, because someone can know what the cards mean, but the way that they translate those messages to you is what's really important and significant. The thing she said about the relationship is that it is no one from my past. She said it's no one who I've been with before. It's no one who I have like a history with. And so it was really exciting to me to know that someone new is on the horizon. And this is where, not just for life, but for romance, it really changed my entire perspective, because I am someone I can kind of like get caught up on, you know, is this person going to message me? Is this going to happen? And what this reading really did for me was it allowed me to just like let this weight fall off my shoulders. I don't have to worry about anything, whether it comes true or not. I don't really need to worry about, because it just left me feeling inspired, motivated, capable. And I don't think it really matters what gets you to that mindset and what gets you to that place, if I can now go about my life like really driven to accomplish these goals, really positive to go about dating, because I'm not so worried, because I feel like come spring or some point this year, I'm gonna meet someone. That is the way you should be dating anyway. You should go into dating being like, oh, I'll probably meet my person, you know, in a year or two or whatever. So just have fun with it in the meantime. Same thing as career. I should be putting in that work regardless of whether I believe in myself or not. I should be taking risks, taking opportunities. If you hear me say like, I believe in this tarot, I believe in this experience, that's really what I mean by it. I'm just gonna go through a few other things that I kind of like forgot because I'm now looking through my notes. She said 2007, she asked if that was a significant year for me, and there's no way she could have really known this. It is the year that I went away to boarding school, and that experience changed my life. I got really bullied when I was in middle school, and that was like a big reason why I went to boarding school. And she said, there's something from that year I really need to hang on to and something I need to let go of. And that is so crazy that that came up, because I need to let go of the old identity of feeling like this like ugly, like unworthy child who got bullied so badly that I had to change schools, because there's definitely still a part of that inside of me. And then I need to hang on to like the new experiences that I gained that year. I started playing sports for the first time. I had, really good friends for the first time, and I really did start to come into my own. So that was really amazing that she said that. She knows I'm a Swiftie, and she said, I really do believe karma is your boyfriend this year, not in the way that, you're going to get karma on everyone else, but the good things are coming to you. And I really like that she focuses on the positive, because I am like that in life as well. Another thing she said on the work front was that I've always made money for other people and other companies, but this is going to be a year where I really invest and bring more money to myself by working, hard on myself. So I really love that. And I definitely feel aligned with that too, because it's true. I have always done that. And I've always wanted to, even with social media or just side hustles, like make more of my own money, just, putting myself out there and not just working for other businesses. So that is definitely something I want to work towards more in the long run. And it sounds like there's going to be more of that this year. So that's very cool. On the soulmate front, the other thing she said is that I'm not going to question whether it is my person or not. I will just know. And I mean, I believe in that in general, that in relationships, you might not know from the first date, but after the first month, I think you really know if someone is at the very least going to be a long-term relationship or not. For me, I know the signs that someone is interested or not, unless it's that rare exception where they're totally playing you and they're just a horrible person, sure. But I think if you have dated enough, you know if someone's interested in you or not after a few weeks of dating. And she also brought up how there's been like a lot of chaos and tension in my past relationships, and that's not going to be the case in this one, that it really is going to be unlike any other relationship I've ever been in. And I've always felt that for myself as well. It was my hope in my last relationship that would be the case, but I really do feel like having had a contrast of two different relationships in my, mid-late 20s, I definitely feel like the next one I get into will be the right one, because I know what to look for and I know what I want. She said in these past relationships, people have really taken advantage of my kindness, and that is going to play a factor in, how this new person appreciates me, that they will not do that because they will embody a lot of those qualities themselves. Said it will be unexpected, and it might not necessarily happen with the person who I thought it was going to be, but that it's going to be even better than I imagined. So it's interesting for me when she said that, because I've never thought of myself to have like one particular type. I've dated a huge variety of people, and I've been attracted to a huge variety of people. So I find myself questioning, like, when she says it's not what I expect, like, what could it be? Because I don't have this like set picture of what this relationship or person looks like to me. To kind of close it all off, she said the reason like that all these things are happening to me this year is that I've put in the work and that I've been working towards this. These aren't just happening because of luck or chance. It's because the timing actually is right for me. And that makes sense, because I have been working and trying to write a book for the longest time. I have been at my job for a few years. I've been in my place for, 6-7 years. It makes sense that all these moves and changes like would happen this year, because it's kind of been a bit like stagnant, and I've been building to these things. So everything she said makes sense. And she said that she told me nothing that I don't already know. And also, if any of these things don't come true, I can come back to her at the end of the year and get mad at her, which I thought was very funny. So I would definitely recommend this to anyone who is stuck in life, so long as you can always just take these things with a grain of salt and take it as a way to, fuel you with positivity, fuel you with motivation. Because like I said, if this is what gets you there, if this is what gets you in that positive mindset, who cares what other people think or believe? Just have fun with it. Do what resonates with you. If anyone wants the info of the person who I went to, if you're in Toronto, I can definitely help you out in the comments. But I would just say, like, trust your gut. And if you know someone who does it and it feels right to do it with them, do it. Maybe you're at a festival and you walk down the street and you were already thinking about doing this thing and a psychic is there. Go with that. Go with your gut. For me, it just worked out and it felt like everything fell into place as it was meant to. So I think I'll do an update at the end of the year to share everything that came true, everything that matched what she said and where it differed, because I think it's really neat to think that you know what could happen based on things like this, and then reflect back and say, oh, well, it did sort of happen, but not in the way that I expected it to. And that is what I'm excited for. And I can't wait to give you guys an update.